Hello and welcome to another episode of Study of X, the podcast where we go through the Krakoa era of X-Men comics in not quite chronological order, but close enough. Or release order, I guess. I don't know. Anyway,
it's chronological in universe.
Roughly.
Is it?
Roughly.
Anyway, my name is Tim, and with me, as always, is Chris.
Hello. I hope you're ready to talk about space and aliens, because we're going to talk about a lot of both.
And also, Sergio.
I wasn't expecting to have to talk about space and aliens on this set of issues, but I guess they kind of wanted to. The writers, I mean, Let's see what space has for us.
It definitely feels like Hickman wanted to pick up his earlier New Mutant story and bring it into the main area.
Oh yeah, this was very much him following up on that.
Yeah, just with a different group this time.
Yeah, I think that's weird. This, kind of going over it backwards, but this very much feels like not necessarily the series spinning its wheels, but coming up with a new set of wheels just to spin.
You know, it's interesting you say that, because having reread this and having read other Hickman stuff in the past, like his Fantastic Four run, he does this a lot when he starts out. You know, he just starts spinning a bunch of plates, so later on he can go back to the same plates and bring them up again. And that's kind of what this feels like, is he's setting something up for the future. We
have so many plates already.
Yeah.
We do, and his favorite thing is to add more plates.
Yeah, I was about to say, this really kind of feels like some classic Hickman here. He's like, let's set up some stuff and then ram it all into each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for better and for worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
On his worst days, and on my worst days, what I keep coming back to is that Hickman's kind of like Stephen Moffat's for comics.
Man.
Interesting. Okay, break that down for me a little bit.
And I think that's derogatory. That's not a compliment.
Ooh, okay.
You know,
you'll know who Stephen Moffat is.
I know who this is, but give us a little bit
for the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So Stephen Moffat is the producer, director, showrunner for some BBC series, most notably the Sherlock remake, and he was the third or second showrunner for Doctor Who, for the new Doctor Who seasons. And he's got a reputation for doing things again with that look very complex in terms of like the narrative structure of them, but it's just very much, again, spinning plates, having a lot of confidence in his writing that may not be entirely warranted. There's a lot of people that really, really love the stuff in the earlier seasons for the stuff he did for Doctor Who. But then, his reputation kind of started declining with all of the complications and new characters and new revelations and plot twists that he was adding to the overall lore of the show. And that's what Hickman reminds me of sometimes. I think at his best, he's really good at telling a story, but at his worst, he's like so full of himself in terms of introducing new things. At least these are like new, very straightforward threads. But yeah, I just find them to be both, creators that are super excited about the things they're working on and maybe do not want to stick with the simpler version of the work because they have so many ideas that they have to cram them all in, and it is counterproductive to what they're building.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment there. Although, the only Stephen Moffat thing I've seen is Sherlock, and I did not like it enough to check out any other stuff. In fact, I kind of hated it. I would say I could see it. It is a lot of just like Hickman likes to introduce stuff. I think his payoffs usually are much better than Moffat's, though.
I think I have yet to see one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is still pretty early for a Hickman writing, so we haven't seen that much of a big payoff. We kind of did at the end of House and Powers of X, where everything comes together with that story, but even then, that was a really small time frame when Hickman works over the course of like a couple years when it comes to comics.
Yeah, I just kind of hate the feeling of being on a roller coaster, going up the hill, ready for the drop, and then it's like you suddenly put me on a second roller coaster and then start going up a second hill, and there's no drop.
Yeah,
Like
so
I'm climbing expecting the drop, and then what I find myself in is in another booth where I have to board a second roller coaster that's also going to go up another hill. And I don't know if it's ever going down.
see, okay, here's how I would say most Hickman structures are, just based on like old Fantastic Four and Avengers runs he did. It's like that, except then you get a third one going up to the top, and then you get a fourth one going up to the top, and then you get a fifth one going up to the top, and then all 5 of those roller coasters you somehow simultaneously get dropped on at the exact same time.
Yes, and then somehow there is a 6th one that you didn't know you were getting on in between numbers 2 and 4, but you did, and that drop is the biggest.
Okay, we'll see how it all pans out.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to the Krakoa era, it pans out in a very interesting way. But yeah, no, we are definitely at the getting on the ride portion here. At least with these 2 comics that we're going to be talking about for X-Men number 8 and 9, I still enjoyed the ride for what it was, but it's definitely not a big standout from everything. It's just like, yeah, that was neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's what I'm going to say about this set of issues. There's one good idea in them
Ooh,
that I like.
Okay, you're going to have to tell us what that is when we get to it. I'm very curious.
I will, yes.
But let's get into it a little bit.
Okay, so with X-Men number 8, titled Swarm, this is written by Jonathan Hickman and was released back in March of 2020. We're going to open up here at the Academos habitat in the Sextant again, as Mirage and Magma have a nice morning where they marvel at this space junk that we last saw back in New Mutants number 7.
Yeah, it's the egg they stole.
It's, it's space junk, it's whatever. Who knows?
Yeah.
And instead, as we go to the next page, we are in a Shi'ar grave world, where this is the massive edge of the Empire, where the decaying energy of a dead universe is bleeding into our own. It is also a spawning ground for creatures known as the Brood. I think the next comic does a really good job of introducing what these creatures are. So for now, all you need to know is they're big, bug-like, think a little bit like Alien from the Alien series. That's what these things look like.
We don't really get to see it, but like it is more literal than you think. They will turn you into a brood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're the StarCraft
Yeah.
faction.
Yeah.
Yeah, the not quite generic space alien bug creature, but pretty close. So,
By
but
this point, I had already checked if I was reading the right issue.
Yeah.
yes, it does kind of throw you in there all of a sudden. We kind of went into a completely different storyline here. So I've also checked and made sure I was reading the right one. But again, Hickman roller coaster, we are starting our new ascent here. And all we need to know is decaying space whales, space bugs, and some space junk that the New Mutants brought back.
Yeah. And they want to hunt this king egg, which is what it is called, apparently.
Yeah, so seems like bad news. But we are going onto a data page. This is a Shi'ar battle record. This is actually some of the fallout from the War of Kings comic book event that happened back in 2009. So this was actually a long time ago in comic book, standard. But all we really need to know from this is that Gladiator became ruler of the Shi'ar Empire. Black Bolt, with the best name ever of Blackagar Boltagon, was killed, and as was Vulcan. He was also killed at the end of this event.
Are they all mutants?
No. Gladiator is we've met him before. He's just kind of the Superman dude that hangs out with a Shi'ar. Black Bolt is the leader of the Inhumans. Vulcan is a mutant, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to ask Sergio, do you know anything about the Inhumans?
Not really beyond. Were they on a Agents of Shield season?
Yes, they were.
Yeah, they also had their own
Kind of
show.
Yeah, the show was not great.
Yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is great, and they did show up there to really good effect.
It sure is. It's a great show.
It is a very good show. But yeah, so
I don't remember much about the Inhumans.
yeah,
I think that's fair.
They had an island. They had some sort of temple island.
Yeah. I think you're right. They did in that show. I don't know if we need to go into the Inhumans too much, to be fair.
Yeah, we really don't. I was more curious what you did know about them, because they did have a TV show at one point. Back when I believe Fox was kind of running down on X-Men movies, the comics tried to do this shift to make the Inhumans the New Mutants, and that didn't work out. So they had this like brief kind of explosion of popularity, but that very quickly died away, and now, as you can see, are not popular at all.
Yeah, there hasn't been like an Inhuman comic in like 5 years at this point, maybe. But yeah. So we go to Vulcan floating in space in a dream.
Some very cool looking space. And we're going to quickly find out that this is all he remembers from his time in the Fault. This is where, at the end of Black Bolt and Vulcan's fight, they detonated a bomb that ripped a hole in the universe, and Vulcan fell into it. We're going to learn a bit later that apparently he never died in there, but he does seem to have these reoccurring dreams of himself floating in it. Usually after he's blackout drunk, drinking with a couple other mutants on Krakoa. Or, in this case, the moon.
Yeah, well, and Petra and Sway here. But yeah, I'm kind of glad they didn't drag out this Vulcan twist too much. It is very obvious what is happening at this point.
So Cyclops and Havoc, check in on their brother Vulcan, and he's having the same horrible dream over and over again. But before he's able to say much else about it, they are interrupted by the giant space whale carcasses controlled by the Brood, making straight for Earth.
Yeah, seems bad.
Yeah, generally seems not a good time if the giant whale carcasses are heading towards your home planet. But we're going to find out why pretty soon. As we are back on Krakoa, and we get to meet one of my favorite little guys, and this is Brew. It's Brood without the D. He is a mutant Brood, who, instead of being a mindless drone, is his own individual and likes to wear a nice suit and tie.
Yeah. Brew's great.
Is there a relation between him and these other brutes, or does he come from another overmind?
No, he is related to these Brood. I think all Brood are related to each other. It's just when he was born as a mutant.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, and he made his way to Earth?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know much backstory about the Brew, so I will take your word on this. But yeah, he was in a couple of X-Men runs.
Yeah, I don't know much outside of that, like how specifically he came to Earth. But all I know is, he was a Brood, but he's a mutant Brood. So, the X-Men kind of open their doors more, so you don't have to be a human and a mutant. As long as you are a mutant of some kind of species, you are included in them.
Yeah. Which kind of makes sense. That's basically like what Warlock is.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, they're...
okay. I totally got the impression that this Brood was like newly introduced to this issue, but I guess they've been there a while.
Oh, yeah, Brew's been around for a bit.
Yeah, and the Brood in general have also been around for a bit. If you ever need like a giant space enemy for people to fight, or waves of enemies for people to fight, they're generally the go-to.
Yeah.
It's such a generic term.
It really is. They are very much like let's do some creepy alien stuff. Here we'll just use the Brood.
Yeah,
But
they cannot be the only like bug-like mass infestation creatures in the universe. There has to be more.
Yeah, there's the Annihilation Swarm as well, but that's I got 2. I don't know anymore.
See, they got a better name.
Yeah.
You add Annihilation on there, and that's just good marketing.
That's
but like the Brood.
The Brood.
This is why like stuff like Kleenex gets turned into a household name instead of like a brand name, and then it gets like used by everyone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens if you don't have good marketing. You lose the rights to your term.
Yeah. So, when the Brood do attack us, we can tell them, well, you should have done a better job at marketing.
Like the Xenomorphs.
Yeah, see, that's a good name.
No, but that's not their name, I don't think.
I know that's not their name, but that's a good name.
It's bad marketing.
So, okay. Marketing aside, Brew comes over to see some of the New Mutants as they're having breakfast, and he immediately spots the king egg and gets upset, rightfully so, because he is going to explain to them that this king egg makes all the queens of the Brood go to war, and that they can also smell a king egg from a galaxy away. So it is very likely that they are on their way, which we very quickly find out they're not coming, they're here.
Yeah, I really like Wolfsbane's response to this. It's very funny. That's me, Space Booty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she did. She won it in combat, rightfully. It is hers.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is a big light for bugs.
Yeah. So, yep, here they are, just crashing down.
Yeah, we get this whale carcass, disgusting thing crashing down, and a whole bunch of brood pouring out of its mouth, its eyes, everywhere it can. And this begins a really nice multi-page fight going on, with a good chunk of the New Mutants and Cyclops and Jean making their way here, trying to hold off the swarm.
I do have to say, it's a very good, quick, efficient setup. There's a lot of coincidence going on, given that Brew arrived just at the right time to see this happen and to alert everyone at the nature of the egg. But it gets us in the action quick.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
we are
definitely willing to be like, this is fine,
Yeah, and we get it's some cool looking action too. Like I like this whole thing with Cyclops using his lasers through Magic's portals. Get more of that mutant power synergy going on.
Yeah, that's a cool move.
There is a very fun gag where Brew tries to exposit to Jean, and she kind of blows him off before Brew explains what's going on, and then Jean tries to tell Cyclops, and he meets her with the exact same line.
Yeah, unfortunately, everybody's very busy at the moment, but Brew is correct. He knows exactly what's going on, and is pretty much the only person here who actually knows. So, Jean is finally able to contact Scott, and she, Brew, and Scott head back through the Krakoan Gate back onto the moon, where Havoc and Vulcan have prepared a ship so they can take the King Egg away from Krakoa and away from all of the innocent mutants that are probably going to be turned into space bugs if they don't hurry.
I like how when the story needs a portal to be placed such that it connects to a convenient location, it is just there. I think that's a very good, just storytelling device here.
Mm-hmm. And it's
just a really good resource they do not hesitate to use.
Yes, and it's set up in universe to where it would make sense to have a portal in this random place.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why the Sextant would have a portal to the Summers house, but sure.
Mm-hmm. There was a very early issue, I can't remember if it was an X-Men or a House of X, where they take people through a tour and the gates kind of connect to this massive complex that have gates to other locations. We haven't seen that again, so it's not quite clear if that's still in play. But I like to believe that when you go to a gate and if you go through it, if you think of where you want to go, it'll take you there.
I feel like the portals were designed just so it was very easy to get people from point A to point B faster, which it is.
Yes. Yes. It's much nicer than having to, fight your way through the island to get to the jet, fight your way into space and go. You get to cut all of that out, and it's, no, we're going to go to space. All right, now we're leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one other thing that Vulcan does throughout this entire thing is he likes to make fire jokes and fire puns. And in order to take off in this jet here, Cyclops does have to play along, and finally does, which Vulcan loves immensely.
Yeah, their brother's a freak. And then we get a data page here with just some updates. Again, I feel like a lot of that stuff was pretty obvious. Two of these were known. Again, we saw Gladiator give back control in the New Mutants to Leandra. Black Bolt we have known is alive for years. But the Vulcan one's kind of the thing that everybody was guessing at this point, where apparently Vulcan is just alive. So there is 2 Vulcans.
Yes, because don't we see them resurrecting him at some point, or am I incorrect?
Yeah, he was... I don't think we see him resurrected, but I think they just straight up say he was resurrected.
Okay. Yeah, because that is a problem. Especially when it comes to Vulcan. He's not really shown off a lot here in these 2 issues, but he is, one of the Summers brothers, and because of that, is incredibly strong. His power is obviously fire-based, but he is a threat for a reason.
Yep. Meanwhile, on a random space station in Shi'ar space, we have an accuser who is trying to get the King Egg.
Yes, and we finally see the Starjammers again. Last we saw them, they were leaving the New Mutants behind because they were very upset with them. And they did get captured by this accuser, who's not happy that they lost the King Egg. Thankfully, he is negotiating with one of the best negotiators in space, Sunspot.
Yeah. Sergio, did you ever see Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one? I'm assuming yes.
Yes. Yeah, I did.
You know the villain from that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's just that's who.
Ronan the Accuser, right?
Yeah, this is just one of those guys.
Yeah, it is not Ronan, but
I caught that.
Yeah,
same deal. They kind of have a very uniform look to them, and it all helps that they I think all of them use a hammer.
Yeah,
I'll give you, I did not remember there were multiples. I thought it was the same character for a second, and then I realized, there's this whole band of people.
Yeah, just all of the Kree. I don't know if this guy has a name, but whatever. Yeah, so he is talking to Sunspot, who seems bored.
Mm-hmm. And Sunspot is also babysitting, Cannonball's kid, so this is not a very high-stakes situation for him.
Yeah. But he says, hey, I'll get this going for you. Just free these guys. It'll be good to go. You gonna take that deal? That's the best you're getting. And the accuser just says yes.
So, and we're gonna see this play out pretty soon, but Smasher overhears the entire conversation and tracked where this accuser is. And they're in Shi'ar space, which the Kree and the Shi'ar typically don't get along. So she is going to very quickly tell her superior that, hey, something's wrong. So, but before we get to that, we do see our boy Gladiator with his son, Q-Bark, out here just destroying massive genocidal bugs in space, as one does with their father-son bonding activities.
Kid Gladiator is apparently his name. I am not familiar with this character.
Who, Gladiator or Q-Bark?
Kid Gladiator here.
Yes, he's new to me as well. I have no idea where he comes from, and he kind of just goes away after this.
Yeah.
So, but he is very quickly informed that there is an accuser not too far from where he is, and he immediately tells his son that they have now found better game to hunt, because hunting actual sentient beings is a much better bonding experience.
Has he, I wonder how he would feel about Kraven.
Ooh, so they would probably get along pretty well. Both of them having fun hunting things, especially, the most dangerous game, which in this case is an accuser.
I don't know if Craven could take the accuser.
I wouldn't put it past Craven, because if he can take down Spider-Man, I feel like he could take down an accuser.
I don't know. I'm going to say these are probably different magnitudes here.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's the end of that issue, and now we have a bunch of moving plates.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we have space bugs, a king egg, this accuser in space, and now some more information on Vulcan, Black Bolts, and a bit more on the Shi'ar Empire.
Yeah, we also got Gladiator coming toward him, so yeah, there's a lot going on. Sunspot's now doing some stuff.
Yeah, as an issue by itself, it's okay. I do appreciate that this official reading order that we're going off of places these two issues next to each other, because X-Men number 9 is going to finish not a decent chunk of these spinning plates, but it is going to finish at least one of them.
Yeah.
They're very much, connected. This one's picks up straight off where the other one ended, and it does close a lot of the things that were introduced. So yeah, makes sense for those to be together.
I will say I am a bit disappointed that we jumped back off into space again for the mainline X-Men stuff. In New Mutants, it was a lot of fun because we have all of the personalities there. Here, we've talked about it. It's a lot of setup, and that's what it is. But I would have preferred something a bit closer to home and maybe on Krakoa itself.
Yeah, I like the other roller coaster I was on.
Exactly.
It's okay. We'll probably go back there.
Yeah, we are probably going to go back there. It's just, these were two issues that could have been on the same roller coaster, but ended up not.
Yeah.
Want
to get straight into issue 9.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So this is going to be X-Men number 9, titled The King Egg. This is still written by Jonathan Hickman and was released towards the end of March in 2020. We are actually opening up back in the past, 8,000 years in the past, in the Kree Empire. We have a bunch of Kree scientists here who are explaining to an accuser of this new species that they found that they have titled the Brood. And this is where we get our explanation on how these aliens work in a pretty brutal fashion. Essentially, they are a matriarchal society of hive mind that when they attack their victims, they consume their past and memories and then turn them also into another member of the Brood.
Yeah. This exposition is given while the Brood devours someone and then the accuser gets in and kills them all with a hammer.
Mm-hmm. I do appreciate that all of this is going on, and the accuser doesn't say much, but just kind of walks into this secured area and then just smashes them. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But with this later half, now that the Brood are dead, the scientists propose that they have a control mechanism put in place so they can eventually control this very violent and aggressive species against their enemies. The accuser quite likes the idea, but they have to run it by the Supremor, which is the ruler of the Kree Empire.
It's a weird hive mind thing.
Yeah, a lot of hive mind stuff in space. From what I remember of the Supremor, from reading War of Kings and other old Marvel space events, is it is the collective consciousness and knowledge of all past Kree leaders or leadership, and it's all just kind of gathered into one. So it's like a supercomputer and a ruling body at the same time. So it's able to make decisions and calculate what the best path is by referencing all of their past.
Yeah. So this big ol' head in a jar concludes that the Shi'ar are a good target for this stuff and approves the weapon.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, the weapon is going to take some time to come into effect. In fact, no less than 8 millennia for the Hive Society to possess a sufficient volume to attack the Shi'ar. So even though these scientists will long be dead, they're very happy that their work should live on past them.
Yeah. And then we go back to the present, where we are rushing across space with a bunch of dead space whales chasing.
Chasing the ship, and they're gaining pretty quickly. Unfortunately, the direction that they're heading also has dead space whales. So no matter which way they go, they're kind of in a bad spot.
Yep.
So, but don't worry about that for now, because we are going to go check in on our friend the Accuser, who really wants to know where his egg is. Unfortunately, Sunspot said he got distracted watching Space Jeopardy and didn't know the answers, so got really engrossed in it and forgot to look into the whole thing.
Yeah, Corsair is not pleased at this, but Sunspot's just joking. In fact, they actually just called the whole Shi'ar. So, Gladiator's here.
Yeah, instead of helping them, they called the cops.
Yeah.
And in this case, it is one cop who is very, very strong and just wants to murder this man.
Yeah, the Accuser kind of goes on about how he will be judged as well. Kid Gladiator says, "My dad can beat you up," and Gladiator shoves him into a space whale.
It's a really fun series of pages here, because you have this scene of the Accuser and Gladiator going up against each other, and then the next page is the Accuser being, I assume, punched out of the spaceship into space, where he is hit by the Summers jets and then eaten by a space whale.
I do appreciate this series of panels. That's just a whole page with no dialogue of the Accuser just flying through space and eventually making its way into the whale's mouth.
Yeah.
Only for the first panel on the next page to have the chomp SFX on it.
Yeah, it's a really good chomp. It's big, it's bold, and also ate part of the Summers ship.
Yeah, it was a very large chomp.
It is a very New Mutancy kind of joke to grab a plot kind of development and then inform the audience that it doesn't matter at all and it can be resolved in like a page and a half.
Yeah, it's like this guy didn't even have a name.
Yeah.
It
was just to get two separate groups together for the story, and it worked.
Yeah.
So Havoc is letting this star station know that, hey, there's brood on the way and things are going to get bad really fast. But he immediately recognizes his dad's on board. And they all realize, oh, all of the Summers are together. By the way, the brood is coming, so maybe you should follow us down to the planet.
Yeah, they might have done that by exploding.
Yeah, not in the best way, but again, another great page of no dialogue of the space whale just running into the station and blowing it up before everything crashes down on this barren planet.
Everyone's fine, though.
Yeah.
Except for the Accuser, of course.
Yeah, no, I'm assuming he is very much not okay.
No.
So, but everybody is going to start making it underground in these ruins to get away from the impending swarm. This is going to last a good couple of pages. In fact, I believe till the end of this comic. But over all of it, we have an explanation from Jean as to why she can't really get through the hive mind of the brood. And she explains that, imagine if your entire life you were the top alpha predator and you always had drones of millions and millions of other predators that would fight and die for you, and you had all of this power. Now imagine something came out of nowhere to threaten and not only take that power, but to turn you into a drone as well. And that is the threat that this king egg proposes. So what would these queens do in this situation? They would do everything in their power to destroy the egg before it is used. And we see this as the brood run over everything in this endless swarm. We have Cyclops, Havoc, Gladiator, everybody's doing all that they can, and it is not working. They are beginning to lose.
Until
at the dramatic conclusion of this entire fight, the Brood suddenly stop. And nobody quite realizes why, until everyone looks over, and Brew has eaten the egg, thus becoming the first king of the Brood, and controlling all untold millions and millions of them.
Yeah, we get our last page here is like Brew standing on like a podium, just surrounded by the X-Men with all these like Brood around him.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, good for him. He got hungry. He wanted a little snack, maybe before he died. And it ended up working out really well, because now there is a mutant that, theoretically, I would believe he lives on Krakoa, that now controls 10,000 worlds, 6 trillion drones, and 1,000 queens.
Yeah, that's a lot. We get a data page here from, it looks like from the perspective of the Supremer. Just kind of talking about the Brood and how you best want to deploy this when the Empress is dead, because all the queens are gonna just go nuts over this thing. Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it's a lot of, techno babble about why they pick the Brood over some of these other seed species. They mentioned the Phalanx and a couple others that are apparently extinct. But the Brood seem to be the best just because of their violent structure and how they always fight each other. And then we do get a little bit at the end that says, yes, for the king egg to work, you have to eat the inside of it. And once you do so, it will be active for at least 5 to 10 standard Kree cycles. I don't know how that relates to Earth cycles, but I would assume 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
I assume that it's longer than that would be my bet.
It also
could definitely
be
a long time.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely long enough that if you wanted to destroy the Shi'ar Empire, you could do that. I don't think Brew is going to do that.
Also, looking at the seed species list, name originality definitely not part of the criteria to select the best one.
No, it was not, because there are some good ones in here.
Except for Scatter.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Scatter.
Maybe somehow worse than Blood.
Yeah, Scatter's not great. I'm still a big fan of the Phalanx, but I blame Powers of X for that one.
But on this last page about the King Egg here, we also get a little note at the end of production of a rival King Egg can disrupt the host's control of the hive, so that might be bad.
I'm sure it won't come up.
I'm sure it won't either.
Yeah, I'm sure this will be fine. New plates that have started, we're already putting the plate down. It'll be okay.
And yeah, that is the end of our little X-Men arc.
Yeah, very neat set of 2 issues.
Yeah, definitely feels like, the space side story. I think it's fine, when you put them together and you don't separate them by mass amounts of time. I think they work well as a duo. The Brood are fine. They're an alien stand-in. I think they're fun. And sorry to cut you off there, Tim. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to ask Sergio, what was the one thing that you liked from the spinning plates?
Oh, it's not in this set of issues. I like the thing from the other one.
Oh, for X-Force?
X-Force, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no.
This is fine. I enjoyed this set of issues, but they are not breaking any new ground. Very neatly put a bow on most things, other than the things that obviously were introduced and are probably going to be used at some point. But yeah, it did feel very much like a New Mutants arc rather than an X-Men one.
Yeah,
but that's fine.
That's a good way to put it. It's a fun little story.
Yeah,
it's serviceable.
It is. It's serviceable.
I wouldn't use it to introduce anyone to the X-Men as an exemplar of what it is capable of in terms of storytelling, but it is fine.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I would agree to that. Definitely not an introduction section. I do kind of like how Hickman took the story he started in New Mutants and then brought it here and ran with it with a different group. Because I don't think the New Mutants group would have been able to handle this kind of story. It made more sense that it was this group of characters that did it.
Yeah. I believe the Summers are a lot more competent than New Mutants, even though some of them seem like they got the good head on their shoulder.
I feel like they would have been able to handle it, but it would have taken more than 2 issues.
Yeah, I could see that. They would have critically messed something up on the way as well.
Uh-huh.
I feel like more people would have died.
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe still solved in the end, but at what cost?
Anyway, do we want to go on to X-Force?
Yes. Before that, just so we know, the next time we get back to this mainline X-Men, we're actually going to be jumping into the Empire tie-over. That is where X-Men number 10 is going to be. Not for a while for us with our reading order, since we have a bunch more stories we have to read until then, so we are going to say goodbye to X-Men for now.
Goodbye, X-Men. We'll miss you for a little bit.
See you, Space Cowboy.
It's almost as if I had already said goodbye.
But yeah, so X-Force, our cover here is everybody's in their ripped jungle gear.
That doesn't really happen in, the actual comic outside of Kid Omega slightly.
Yeah.
But that tends to be the nature of comic book covers, so not entirely surprising.
Yeah, Domino looking like one of those Japanese RPGs where you get your clothes turned off as you take damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's got a snake around her leg, which is not safe at all.
It's okay,
it's not a good time.
She's good luck.
That's true. Maybe this is the one non-poisonous snake in this jungle.
It's a healing snake, actually.
Yeah,
okay.
I
like that turn of fortune.
No. Okay, I get what's happening. You see, this green snake climbing up her leg is going to fight the larger snake coming down from above her. And it's actually
they're gonna cancel each other out.
Yeah, that's how snakes work.
Ah, okay. I didn't know that's how snakes work. That's good to know. Definitely tell everybody you can about that, just in case you're bit by a snake.
Yeah. That jaguar, gonna eat that lizard. Yeah. All right, so let's get into it.
Comic cover marveling aside, with X-Force number 9, The Moral Jungle. This is written by Benjamin Percy and was released in March of 2020. We're going to open up with probably one of my favorite openings in a while, and it is Logan Dakin, I always pronounce his name incorrectly, and Gabby playing Spin the Bottle, where the loser has to kill themselves, because all of these people are derived from Wolverine in some manner.
Yeah, so not really kill yourself, just stick blades in your brain and then heal.
And it is very fun. They have a pretty good crowd going. Dakin, of course, loses and has to, blade himself right in the head, where he falls over bloody. Jean isn't as thrilled about this and asks Logan, maybe, hey, you could do something better. But Logan is like, well, no, see, family bonding. We're having a great time together. Look at this.
Yeah, I believe this is our first time meeting Dakin and Gabby so far.
I want to say you are correct. Dakin might have been in the background somewhere, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time we've seen Gabby here on Krakoa.
Yeah. What do you know about Dakin? Because my background knowledge of Dakin is non-existent.
I'm glad you asked, because mine is also non-existent. I'm pretty sure he is Wolverine's son and not a clone.
Maybe.
I just know Dakin did not like Wolverine for a very long time, and the two would try and kill each other for a while, but that's pretty standard for Wolverines.
Yeah, Dakin was a villain for a long while. I do know that. He pretended to be Wolverine in the Dark Avengers. I guess I do know a little bit about Dakin, just not very much. He's also a disaster by this.
Yes, and a wonderful one as well that we are going to meet later in a different comic that will start, where he's really endearing with that whole cast. I love X Factor itself. But for now, he's just here, playing deadly Spin the Bottle.
Also, in addition to Wolverine powers, he has pheromone powers.
I was hoping you weren't going to bring that up. I hate pheromone powers. They're so weird.
They are weird. but it's a thing.
Who's the Spider Woman that has it? Is that Silk?
No, that's just Spider Woman. That's just Jess.
That's just Jess. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I hate it when it comes up. Whenever it comes up in comic books, because it is so awkward.
Yeah. Gabby is a clone of a clone. She is a clone of Laura, who is a clone of Wolverine.
Yes. Don't think about it too much. But Sergio, I do have to ask: did you ever see the movie Logan? I think that's what they called it.
I have not. No, I've never watched that one. I know it's one of the, or at least for a while, people liked it. Had a good reputation.
Yeah, no, I think it's held up.
Okay.
It does fall into kind of what The Last of Us does, which is, young wolf and cub kind of a thing. But the girl there, X-23, that's Laura. So you have this female clone of Wolverine, and Gabby is the clone of Laura.
Yeah, we've met Laura.
All right. Yeah.
Because X-23 was in Fallen Angels. And also the Children of the Vault stuff.
Yeah, I do remember X-23.
Yeah.
I do try to forget some of what you said, but you are correct that we did see her at Children of the Vault.
Yeah.
And clones can have clones.
Yeah, clones can
There's
have
no
clones.
rule against it.
No, and in this case, Gabby is wonderful. We're not going to see her a whole lot this early on. She does come in later stories, but she's very much a disaster gremlin and is just all around lovable and funny.
Yeah. So
She does seem to exude gremlin vibes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So, our party is getting pretty chaotic. Jean seems to be doubting her just being an X-Force in general and just doesn't seem to be having a great time. And then we get a neat little overview of the Green Lagoon. I really like this picture spread.
Yeah, it's a really, really pretty 2-page spread. This is also technically the first introduction of the Green Lagoon. Those of us here on the podcast, we've already seen it in Wolverine number 3. But release order-wise, this was the first time it ever showed up.
It's a cool introduction here. I like this quite a bit. It almost feels like a try to name every mutant contest.
Mm-hmm.
There is something I'm missing in this page.
And what's that?
Which is a list of things to look for.
Yeah. It
It
does.
feels like I was half expecting to turn the page and find one of those info pages with a list of things to
try to
go
find,
back and look for this. Yeah.
Circle them with a crayon.
Oh, yeah. No, and I went over this page to be like, okay, is there anything hidden I can find? There's a chair underneath where the Wolverines are currently playing Spin the Bottle, and it has some Krakoan on it. It just says make more mutants. That's what it says, but I translated it anyway.
There is a Nightcrawler just teleporting up to the ceiling.
Yeah, stealing booze.
Yeah.
You have Dazzler in the back. I see Christian Frost back there. Sebastian Shaw is puking into the river, which good. Terrible person.
Yeah, I feel bad for people hanging out in the river, though.
I do too. That's awful.
But yeah, it's a cool looking spread here. Would you drink at this bar?
Absolutely. I would be afraid of bar fights breaking out and the other kind of chaos that would go on. But it does look like a cool place to go to.
Yeah.
So, and I can't quite remember which interview it was that Benjamin Percy did, but he talked about the Green Lagoon, and he said at one point he was talking with the artist for the book, and they both came to the realization that there was no general watering hole or meeting place for people to just kind of hang out on Krakoa, so that's why they came up with this location and went all out with it. They're like, hey, here's this new place, it's fun, it's not something you've seen before, and they just kind of went for it, and I'm really glad they did.
I beg to differ. Fallen Angels had that bonfire.
Oh, right. The never-ending party bonfire.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, that's still going.
Yeah.
To this day.
Until I see the fire pit a bunch of ashes, it is still going.
Well, Dazzler's here
Yes.
now. See, do you think it's like a lot smaller of a party, but it's like still get some like dedicated mutants that go to it?
Yes, because they would have been like, this was the first party, so we're going to keep this one going.
It's like another club opening.
Yeah. And then there's going to be some club rivalry.
Yeah.
I do like the Apocalypse Tiki cups.
Yeah.
Yes, I do too. They're really fun. I also like Apocalypse just sitting here at a table, just, overshadowing everybody because he's got this tiny little glass in his hand.
Yeah. He's just very large, looming. Anyway, we get something that I think is a little bit interesting on our next page. It's Domino talking to Sage, and Domino is chipper.
Yeah, smiling,
Yes.
even. She's in a wonderful mood. And to remind people, the last time we saw Domino, she was dying in the arms of Colossus.
Yeah, saying, don't let me forget anything. We learn very quickly that she forgot everything.
Mm-hmm. And she's very happy about it, because as she says, it was probably her wish to do so.
Yeah.
She doesn't remember what she said, but hey, Colossus wouldn't lie, right?
Yeah.
And this is my favorite thing about these 3 issues.
Yeah,
what's
that's
that?
This Domino stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's very interesting to play with the idea that maybe someone went against her wishes and she has no way to know.
Yeah.
And she prefers to think she changed mind at the very last second than to confront the idea that she may not have as much power as she thinks she does in Resurrection and by proxy every other mutant. I think that's genius.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't know about you, but I also love how this question is going to come up again, people asking Domino how she's doing, but it's never the focus. This issue's about something else. It's just this undercurrent of, well, we know what her wish was, but it didn't happen, and nobody's totally pushing into why.
Yeah, like we have people that are like, hey, that's a little weird, right? But Domino just straight up doesn't want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't really have an avenue to explore it, and you're kind of left with we got a lot of questions here on like who might have done this, because the list is decently long. Like, was this a beast call?
Yeah. Was this a Colossus call?
Yeah, did Colossus lie because he was just trying to get her to forget, or like was this an Xavier thing, just trying to keep X-Force like moral up, but yeah, like we just don't know. That's an unanswered question right now.
Yeah, which is fantastic because, at least for me, you see consistently all of the kind of harm that X-Force is willing to do in order to protect mutants, but this is like straight up harming one of their own in a very fundamental way, that's like fundamental to who they are, to like their emotional and like brain makeup.
Yeah.
And them willing to, because this is, I feel like this is very obviously a call that was not Domino's. So yeah, having that taken away from her, but because of what I can only assume for now are like state interests, is just really, really compelling.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I also like how, this is something that the reader is aware of, and not something that the characters and universe are completely aware of. It's not something that I see often in media like this, and it's played out very well.
Yeah.
And this is why Mystique is fighting for our prayers.
Yes. Exactly.
Wherever she is.
She'll be back, probably.
Still asking for her wife, but I believe in her.
Black Tom is having a bad time. Just really wants a break from the island. Accidentally runs into Gorgeous George, who is one of Sinister's old henchmen, and a bar fight breaks out.
I'm glad you knew the name of that mutant he runs into, because I didn't know his name. I just wrote him down as a mutant.
Oh, he's on the list of mutants like 2 pages ago.
Oh, well, that's how far back my memory goes. So, yeah, there he is. All right. But yeah, he doesn't go very far because Sage just kicks him in the face, and then the Wolverines join in, and a bar fight starts.
Yeah. But before Wolverine can jump in, Beast says, "Hey, we're gonna need you over here."
Yeah, unfortunately, duty calls, and he must go do something else.
Yeah.
But before that, we do get a data page, another piece of Beast's logbook of Terra Verde. We get a bit of a rehash that, the country was there to make telefloronics a thing, and they were really banking on it until Krakoa came about and essentially tore down their entire aspirations because Krakoa beat them to it.
They were trying to be Wakanda. I wish it would have worked out for them.
I, too, wish it would have worked out for them, because instead, as the country starts to fall apart, a lot of these scientists who had given their life to the study and development of telefloronics called themselves Muerte Verde, or the Green Death, as they decided to become plant people, including the president's son, which we should remember from a couple issues ago, where he attacked these people.
Right.
And now we get a bit of an update where it seems like several months have passed. Time flows a bit weird in comics. It's a bit difficult to tell how much time has passed between events. But it has been a couple months since X-Force staged a stealth assault on Terra Verde. And now, recently, the entire country has gone dark. Nothing is coming out of it. No news. No signals, nothing. And Beast is starting to get really worried about that.
Yeah, he couldn't have possibly had anything to do with it, though.
No. I mean, Beast, have you seen him? He's big and blue and fluffy. He's like the Cookie Monster.
Yeah. Kid Omega, Wolverine, and Domino are off to go see what's going on in Terra Verde.
Yep, and we get another instance here of Wolverine asking Domino how she's doing, because he even notices that she's doing really good, which, while not a bad thing, means something has changed. And she pretty much fires back that she does not want to be like Logan and be sad and grumpy all the time.
Yeah. Do you really want me to be like you? That's a mean line.
That is a really mean line. It's a very true line, because that's very true to Wolverine.
Yeah, Wolverine doesn't even sweat it, but I'm like, wow.
That's either something you say to the person you hate the most or the person you're really good friends with.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, but as Kid Omega heads through the gate, he breaks his nose because the gate is a solid wall and they are not able to go through it.
He had it coming.
He did. But Kid Omega is not going to take that lying down, and instead creates a psychic machine gun and blows apart this wall on the other side of the gate, which is made of dead army men and plants. It kind of looks like you stepped into the world of The Last of Us. There's a lot of floral growth everywhere, a lot of fungus and flowers growing out of people's mouths and stomachs. Not great. Really hate it. It sets a very good, creepy, and spooky vibe.
It is kind of like chaotic evil Krakoa.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And we were talking about it earlier, how the gates make it very convenient, to get people from one place to the other. And you can kind of put a gate anywhere. This is the one instance where I think putting a gate in the president's palace was really weird, especially considering it looks to be in the middle of a hallway. It serves its purpose. It just seems like a very strange place to put a Krakoan gate.
Oh, this one I think is pretty fine, actually. It makes sense, Beast being like, hey, yeah, we're going to put a gate directly in your home.
I mean, I guess, if he really did strong arm him like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, he kind of did.
He did, but I feel like, I don't know. Part of me thinks they would have put it somewhere else. But, I don't know.
Yeah, kind of a diplomatic faux pas, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This isn't something that Terra Verde could have come to the UN with or something.
Yeah, like, hey,
Kind of
look, they
complain
Yeah,
about
like,
the
hey,
strong arming that they're doing.
He put a gate directly in our White House, basically.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Is it's very weird.
But yeah, Beast back at the point.
Yeah, Beast is now the guy in the chair for this one. It is not Sage, and as we've mentioned, Jean is not with the group. So it's just going to be these four. As they go through the mansion here, they end up finding the president, and he is now a floral chandelier, which, again, disgusting. But he's very dead, as is everybody else, it seems, as they don't find another living soul in the building.
Yeah, I feel like it is, the characters kind of point this out too, but the fact that they are not looping in Jean Grey and Sage into this is a very big red flag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Logan is going to call that out very specifically by the end here. But one thing that Kid Omega does notice is that the cellular patterns on these plants bear resemblance to Mayan glyphs, and he recommends that Beast look into Terra Verdean mythology.
Yeah, and they're going to a temple in a very like a one-page little art panel here. It does kind of look like chaotic evil Krakoa, especially with the vines just kind of consuming this like villa.
Yeah, a lot of dark, shadowy colors as opposed to Krakoa's more vibrant greens. So yeah, definitely trying to evoke that, hey, this is like what we have, but bad. And to kind of reinforce that again, or maybe to beat you over the head with it, depending on how you want to look at it, we get another data page. It is another part of Beast's logbook, and it is more of the history of Terra Verde and their worship of botanicals, and how that has evolved throughout time.
Yeah, I don't think this is the part that's explicitly evil. This kind of feels almost matter of fact, just like, yeah, they were pretty similar to some of the other cultures there, except they were real into plants.
Part of me agrees with that. That's what they were partially trying to go for, but they go more in depth with the types of, quote, sacrifice that they were supposed to do, fingers in the ground, guts hanging from trees, that kind of thing. They didn't need to if that's not the picture they were trying to paint. I think they could have just been like, yeah, they did, sacrifice just like other cultures over there did at the time. And that was that. I think Beasts, or this data page here specifically, is trying to make a connection between the two of them, especially because it's going to keep talking about punishing deities and other sorts of kind of more negative aspects of it.
Yeah, I feel like there's an interesting parallel drawn here between the 2 mutants a year kind of thing that goes on with Krakoa and the regular sacrifices that were being made on this kind of are described in this logbook. But beyond that, yeah, it feels like very generic, kind of like the worst parts of Incan kind of popular culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Imaginarium.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm no expert on Incan culture, but also for most of these like South American and Central American cultures, the human sacrifice aspect is greatly overblown, usually, in popular media.
Yeah.
So this does get me to roll my eyes a little. But yeah, this feels more like a reminder of there being something similar going on in Krakoa, and I wonder now if like the kind of imaginarium for these pre-Hispanic South American cultures was a big inspiration or something that we should be taking into account when thinking about how Krakoa works and what it is as an entity. But yeah, other than that, it just feels like the setup for a pretty hokey B-movie about evil Incans.
Yeah, evil plants. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that is pretty much what we're kind of going for here. I kind of...
I mean, it's evil Incan plants. They have those cellular patterns in them.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. But, yeah.
Yeah, so again, not the best representation for South America and Central America, again, as we go through these Krakoa books.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're once again going through the jungle, as it feels like so many parties have recently. They do really like the South American settings in this issues lately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is weird how focused South America these the first section of this is.
Mm-hmm. I mean, at least these guys aren't going to go to Nova Roma. I think that's a plus.
Yeah. Well, we're
It is a
far away
plus.
from that. Yes. But yeah, just doing some light bushwhacking, and we give Kid Omega a little bit of a wardrobe change.
Mm-hmm. Because he did not dress for this occasion, which is fine. But we do get into a bit of what Tim talked about earlier, where Logan is questioning why Jean isn't here and neither is Sage. And he deduces that this is because Beast needs them to be killers and not negotiators.
Yeah.
And he's saying all of this while this really cool skeletal fungal jaguar shows up and walks into the temple ahead of them. It's a really cool design. I love how it looks. And it kind of really sets the stage for, yeah, there's some weird shit going on here.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Beast, I guess, realizing that plants are now the threat, wakes up Black Tom.
Yeah, who is still having a bad time and is having a hangover. He almost impales Beast, which maybe he should have, but agrees to, be taken by Beast because he's needed for a mission off the island.
Yeah.
This is all interspersed with Kid Omega running out of the temple by himself, asking for backup. Because apparently Terra Verde is not a hostile country anymore, it is a angry god.
Yeah, and our last page is Kid Omega being dragged forcefully back into a temple by a bunch of vines.
Uh-huh.
Really is just a B movie, huh?
Kinda, yeah. I interestingly enough, I don't remember where this goes. It must have left my brain at some point. So I'm actually interested to see what the next issue is, because I don't remember how this resolves. But yeah, no, that is the end of X-Force number 9. A fine issue. The issues this week just seem to be almost side missions in a way. I feel like X-Forces maybe is not as much as X-Men was. I think X-Men was the bigger sinner in that regard. But X-Force is still kind of off the beaten path.
Yeah, we've had a bunch of number ones in these past couple of weeks, so going back to middle of the pack issues is probably the reason why these feel like filler arcs. Well, the X-Men had a more reason for that, I guess. But yeah, these are fine, acceptable, very readable issues, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing crazy, nothing to write home about, but they're fine. They hold up. Definitely not, not something terrible. I don't regret reading these. I think they were fun.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but it did introduce the Green Lagoon and this really funny spin the bottle game between all the Wolverine-related family.
Yeah, well,
I wonder if you can get one of those Apocalypse sticky cups.
Oh man, I bet you can.
I looked at one point because there used to be, well, not used to be, there's a comic book convention here in Los Angeles that used to be called Stan Lee's Kamikaze, and their big thing was doing tiki mugs of different comic book characters. I think they have since stopped because they are now called LA Comic Con, and that's not really their thing anymore. But I'm really hoping maybe the company kept doing it because I would love to get an Apocalypse tiki mug. I think it looks great.
Oh, I'm looking at some right now on Etsy.
Yeah. I was about to.
No.
I just linked it.
Oh no!
Yeah, these are explicitly the Green Lagoon tiki mugs.
Yeah, I like this Xavier one a lot too.
Oh, I love these. These are so cool.
Yeah, these are good.
Yeah, I kind of want to.
I know.
Maybe.
I also kind of want to get one. This is dangerous. I can't believe you've done this. So, but before I spend too much money, was there anything else we wanted to say about these issues here?
No, not really. I think at least on my part, all that's been said is kind of like what I thought about these going through them.
Yeah, I don't really have much more to add either. Next up, as soon as I can grab the reading order.
That's okay. I can beat you to it.
Nope.
Next up, no,
okay.
you're gonna beat me to it.
X-Force number 10. Excalibur number 9 and giant size X-Men Nightcrawler.
I can't believe you stole Nightcrawler from me.
I'm sorry.
One of my favorite members of the X-Men.
So, wrapping up this X-Force arc before an Excalibur issue and then Nightcrawler.
Yeah, and we haven't read Excalibur for quite some time, actually. It's been a good handful of episodes. So excited to go back to that. Excited to see what giant-sized X-Men Nightcrawler has in store. Because I've still really loved Jean Grey and Emma Frost. So it'll be cool to see what that one has. And then after that, so after next episode, we're going to be introduced to the Hellions. And I'm very excited to start talking about them.
I don't know who they are.
Yeah, I'm very happy you just pronounced that before I said Hell Lions.
That's okay. I have said both. I've said Hellions. I've said Hell Lions. I don't know which is correct. I'm going to assume both.
Oh.
It's Helions.
I take it back then.
Helions? Oh, yes, I've heard Helions before. I'm just going to go with they're all correct. You know, however you say it is the right way.
But, so I guess that will be our episode.
Yeah, so if you have joined us here, thank you again for listening. If you could leave a review on your favorite podcasting app of choice, that would be great. Just so we can get out there, find more people so they can also read this wonderful era of comic books. If you have any questions, comments, what tiki mug you would like to see made, go ahead and shoot us an email at studyofx@gmail.com, and we might read it here on the podcast.
We will we'll put this link to the tiki mugs in the show notes as well, because they are cool looking.
Yeah, they are very cool. Definitely going to put that there. And if you are looking to follow this podcast on social media, you can follow us at Study of X on X, also known as Twitter and forever known as Twitter, and also on Tumblr. I am going to try and get a Blue Sky account up and running, because I know if I say it here, that means I am going to do it. So by the time this comes out, we will likely have an account there as well at Study of X.
Oh, that's a good idea. Commitment.
Yeah, see? There you go. Now I can't back down.
Yeah.
All right. And if you are looking for me on social media, you can find me at Sawneeks, that is SAWNEEKS, on Blue Sky. You can also find me on Twitter, but I'm not as active on Twitter anymore. And Sergio, if they are looking for you to ask you what tiki mug you're going to get, where can they find you?
People can find me at Fireblend, FIREBLEND, on Blue Sky pretty much. They can also listen to the other podcast that I do, which is Stray Reads. We just released an episode on Good Omens, which I thought went pretty well. So yeah, go listen to that.
Yeah, highly recommend that podcast. It's great as well. And Tim, if they are looking for you to let you know about the Brood and how their name is maybe so-so, where can they find you?
Pilfering Space Booty. It is, it's mine. They cannot have it. I thought about going for a Green Lagoon joke, but it felt just too...
I mean, we are going to see the Green Lagoon again, so you'll have chances in the future to make that joke. Okay, that's also fair. Alright, well, that is another episode here and gone, so thank you everyone. And we'll talk to you later, mutants.
Bye.
Bye.